Hi everyone! Welcome to the Teacher Training Tips podcast. Is that what we're doing? My name is Jeremy, and I am from Step by Step Eikaiwa, and today I'm joined by
Brooke. Hello, everyone. I'm Brooke from Little River English School.
Great. And so today we're going to try out this new idea we had, and we really want to talk about how to improve our game in the classroom, right? So techniques and tips for not training other teachers necessarily, but even just training ourselves. So I've been teaching for a while. My own English school for 10 years. Before that, ALT for 3. And before that, I was a math teacher back home. And Brooke, you've been a teacher for a while, yeah?
Yes. Oh my goodness. How long now? Maybe I've been in English school, well, an Eikaiwa English school, I should say, since 2016.
Okay.
Not a math teacher, so I'm not good with the numbers.
That's
And
a long
I've
time.
owned my school now for 2 years.
And so so you've had your own school for 2 years. And before that,
Yes.
you were, I think you mentioned you were training other teachers there as well, right?
That's right. I was like the area training assistant,
All
trainer
right.
assistant. So I held meetings, I answered questions, and I tried to teach and train not only the foreign staff, but also the Japanese staff too.
Nice. So you have lots of ideas, tips, and advice for us. All right, cool. Well, then the format is basically each one of these podcasts, one of these kind of chats, we're going to pose a problem or a question, and one of us will have a solution, and then we'll just kind of discuss that solution and that problem. So today's topic is how to get all your students on board with studying at home. And so the premise or the history behind this is that when I first started my school, we thought, hey, let's give the kids some CDs and DVDs and have them go home, and maybe they can do some studying at home. Then we won't have to spend as much time reviewing in the classroom. And it was a good idea. We had them like color little stars each time they, watched the DV track, did a chant, or listened to the MP3, a unit song. And we found that 30% on a good month, 30% of the students were doing it. And you could see their level was like, wow, they're getting it. And the other kids were like, oh, I didn't do it. So, and then we got this like imbalance in the classroom, which is another challenge in and of itself. Have you had this experience, Brooke?
Yes, I have. I've had many students just they'll instead of saying they instead of actually doing that extra study of watching the videos or doing that whatever assignment that was given to them, they'll just circle and say, yeah, I did it. And then when it's time to review, they're like, oh, I don't know what we're doing. Like, I don't know about that. I'm like, did you do it? And they're like, no, I didn't. I just circled it. Right. So I have some students that are not doing it and some students that are doing it every week. And the students that are doing it have, oh my goodness, like their level has really increased. They're hardly like, when you get little kids, they're kind of all excited and, Japanese would just slip out. Mm-hmm. But the kids that are doing it every single week, all that extra study at home.
Yeah.
It literally no Japanese at all, which I'm very surprised about. Like, how can someone so small, so young, speak no Japanese and only English in class? It's pretty amazing.
Right. And so, yeah, for us too, like we found this year, we were, now what we do instead of CDs and DVDs is we created this little, A5 piece of paper, and we staple it onto their homework. And now the kids that are doing that, we've got, I would say around 90% of the kids on board. They're doing it, for the most part, most students in most classes. And then we do evaluation videos each year. And in the past, we're like, how do you spell cat? They're like, see, and they can't spell it. This year, they're like, cat, C-A-T. I'm like, okay, wait. Oh, how do you spell net? They're like, N-E-T. And I was like, we don't teach spelling in our school. And you guys are, not even in elementary school yet. And you guys can spell these words from memory. And so we can we can tell because we set up those chant videos for them to practice spelling or reading or learning new words. They're doing it and it's working. So I highly recommend. I think everyone knows the kids should be doing something at home. That's kind of the problem with eikaiwa is the kids come to lessons once a week for 45 minutes, and then they're supposed to learn English,
Yeah,
from that.
I'm supposed to be fluent.
Right. Okay, so what about if we can pinpoint the reasons why students don't do the at-home, studying? I don't want to say homework. Homework to me is like the worksheet, and we give them. Most of the students will do the homework. So, but I mean the going above and beyond, doing the extra activities, whether it's the QR code chance or whatever you assign. What are the roadblocks or the hurdles? What is stopping them from doing it? Do you have any ideas, Brooke?
I've talked to a lot of the students. Like it's fine if you don't have time, but like, can you tell me why
Yeah.
you weren't able to do it? They're like, oh, like I just forgot is like a big thing about them, and I'm like, okay. And then some of the parents are like, oh, like I don't have time to sit down with them. I'm like, oh, you don't have to sit down with them. That's fine.
Right.
So I think a lot of the parents actually think they need to be there and
Okay.
kind of just do it with their children at the
Okay.
same time. So that's why a lot of the younger ones aren't doing it
Got it.
because they need help to sign in kind of thing. And
All
then
right.
a lot of the older ones just, they don't have the motivation.
Okay. So
to
let's make some
remember.
notes here. Building a routine. So if I didn't feel like doing it. If you build a routine, I think we can get over that. We've got parent involvement. Is that involvement? That looks kind of right. And then finally, just like motivation in general. Motivation. Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. And I have this kind of theory, this idea that if you have a task for your kids, for your students, and let's say it's like, okay, here's your textbook, and you have a homework, a workbook that you can open the textbook and then open the workbook, and then if it's on page 3 here, you've got to go to page 4 here, and then you have to put the CD in the CD player, but to put the DVD in the DVD. Every single step you add to your process, you're going to lose about 10% of the students doing it. That's kind of, it's an unofficial theorem that I have. I haven't proven it yet, but it's pretty close. But yeah, so think about that. How easy, how simple is your process? Is that, homework or I should say the at-home study routine? So if it's a CD, think about it. Do all students have CD players, DVD players? I don't think so. I mean,
Maybe not in this generation.
right? And in the city, people probably don't drive as much to the classroom as they, as in the countryside. And we have a lot of our students like listening to or watching the DVDs in their cars on the way. So that's at least, a little bit of extra. But yeah, so there are these hurdles that we don't mean to, but we add to the process. So that's for me where the QR code idea was, if kids understand I have to, scan a QR code. Maybe they don't have a phone, but they can get one. Mom, can I use your phone? And then they scan it. Then they can do it. But, okay, I've got to get the DVDs from somewhere, and I've got to put it in a machine with just covered in buttons, and I've got to turn on a TV. So right away, the QR code method is, for me, much more, it's much easier. Now, what about I could just send a link to the parents? And again, this is where I think if it comes to building routines, students are better at learning new routines and following them than parents. I mean, I'm personally super busy, and if I get an email and I go, okay, what was that email about? And I go to try to find it, it takes me ages. So it's inconvenient. I don't know. I don't use Line myself, but do you use Line with your students, Brooke?
I do. I have a business line for the parents and for anyone who's in junior high or maybe grade 6 and above.
Okay.
They are welcome to have my line, but they can only, it's only during work time or if they have an English question.
Okay.
But many of the students' parents would be like, hey, can you just send me this link or something like that?
Okay.
I think the QR sheets are a much better idea
Well,
than sending it every week.
I mean, this is my own personal opinion, but if you asked me like, hey, Jeremy, I need you to do this new activity using TikTok, and I'm like, what? What's TikTok?
Ooh.
I don't understand TikTok very well. And I've met adults who can't really understand like QR codes. Like, why? What is the QR? So, but if you tell a kid like, hey, TikTok, like, yeah, I love TikTok, or a QR code, oh, beep, you scan it. So I think kids don't have the baggage or the closed-mindedness that maybe adults would have to learning new technology. And so if you can get the kids to understand, like, okay, I go home, I scan the QR code, I color a little thing saying I did it, and then I can get a reward when I come to class, stickers or whatever the case. So that's our system now. But there's one thing that we do that I think is really important to get everyone on board from the beginning, and that is our first lesson. So I have a PDF here, and what we do is, this is not our standard QR code list. Usually it would have just 6 boxes, like here's your song, here's your chant video, here's a game, here's maybe the tutorial for the worksheet. But for the very first one, we do something very special. It's very different. And we make sure the instructions are in Japanese for the parents. All right, step 1, make sure that you have all of your account and your sign up, your login stuff ready to go. And then finally, step 3, please watch the video. And in the video, there's going to be a code that appears. And if you find that code, kids, write it down. When you come to class, you can get a prize. We give them, I think, 5 pet cards. And so for them, the motivation is like max. They're like, okay, all I have to do is go home, watch a video, and write down a code, and then I can get a reward. So by doing that, we can then pinpoint which students are able to do it in terms of the technology. So if you have a technology problem, if you have a login issue, we'll find that right away, and we can find those students and help them out. So by doing this, we have 100% of our students confirmed that they are able to do it, and it just builds the routine. And the kids I think it puts this whole routine for them in a positive light. Like, oh, if I go home and scan it, I can get stickers or cards or whatever. So I'll give you a quick glimpse of what our first video looks like. And we have all of our teachers participate, and here's the video. Find the code. Where is the code?
Hi guys! Let's start English class in 2022 and 2023. We have lots of fun new things for our lessons. We have new stickers, and we have new battle eggs.
So I actually go in and explain what we're doing, maybe some new things for the year. So this is a good way if you have something you want to tell them, upcoming news announcements. This is a great way because you have all eyes in the video or on the video.
And we have lots of fun new games.
All right, so then we skip ahead and I go,
The code.
where's the code?
Where is the code? We have to find the code on our first homework assignment.
So this is a great chance to then use the video as a tool for teaching or reviewing something. So here we're going to review prepositions. Is it under the chair? Is it between the books? Is it? And then they can watch and try to find the code. So let's watch that.
Is it on the table?
Oh, no, it isn't.
No.
All right, so we do that, and then we have all the different teachers. All right, there's
I'm Mihiro.
Mihiro comes
How
in.
was your spring vacation? Did you enjoy it? Let's have fun this year too. Woo.
Little message.
Okay. Where is the code? Is it under the table? Let's see.
So then we go check under the table. No. All right, so we go through, and then we have Alexa Sensei, and then we have Chris Sensei, and we have all of our managers.
Hello everyone, it's Midori. How was your spring vacation?
And so then finally Midori goes through, and so where is the code? Is it on the whiteboard?
Is it behind me? Let's check.
Oh, and then in the top right, you can see the code. And so this is fun for the kids to watch it, and they're getting great listening input, and they're like, oh, okay, under the table. So they're seeing all of the language in context, and then they write down their code on their sheet, bring it back in, and yeah, this is the second time we've done it, so the 2022-2023 school year, and both years, just amazing results. So I would really highly recommend first the QR code approach, taking the responsibility away from the parents and giving it to the kids because I trust them more. And then, yeah, whatever you do, just make sure you have a way to confirm that everyone understands, everyone can do it in that first lesson. After that, the results should be fairly similar throughout the year. So what do you think about that, Brooke?
Yeah, I think establishing that routine from like the first lesson from day one is a must.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you don't start and have that routine of doing this extra study, they're like, oh, like, some people will do it, some people won't. And I think it's a great idea for that little prize or that little incentive.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they do it and they get it correct, like they have that little incentive just to watch the next one. Like it's not that difficult. I just spent 5 minutes watching a video,
Right.
and I get something for it.
Yeah, and actually we do that as well. When let's see if we can find a QR code example here. Yeah, so here's actually what the real at-home challenge would look like. So we have a unit song, we have the vocab chants for the unit, we have a video that helps them practice some of the vocab in the Battle Legs game, a lot of just phonics practice. And then we have some more games. At the bottom, we have the worksheet tutorial. So if we don't have time to explain it in class, they can always go home and just watch. Kind of in a format like this. The teacher's on the side and they're actually doing the worksheet. So we tell our students, if you do this activity one time, you can color in the checkbox and say, I did it one time, and we encourage them to write the date. That helps us get an idea of how frequently they're doing this, or what kind of, if they're doing it all on the day before the lesson, or if they're spacing it out over the week. But we say, okay, if you color 5 boxes. It could be, 5 of them one time, or you could just choose like your favorite 2 and do those 3 times and 2 times. If you do it at least 5, we'll give you 2 stickers in your next lesson. So we do give them the intrinsic, extrinsic. Is it intrinsic? Where you have the money, like I'm going to pay you for this. You get a reward, a physical reward. And that is really good for also helping get that routine underway. But I mean, by the middle of the year, we don't really enforce it. If a student's like, oh, I forgot to do my homework, I don't like, oh, no stickers for you. I don't want to put that negative, pressure on them. So yeah, like you said, the 5 cards in the beginning is really powerful, and then just keeping that motivation going with stickers or just something. There's probably a million ways.
Maybe their favorite game at the end.
Yeah, an activity in class. You can do this.
Like yeah.
Cool.
Like, oh, like this person is continuously, like they did 10 boxes instead of 5. Like, what activity would you like to do today? Kind of thing.
Right, and that's a good point. Before I said we had, with CDs and DVDs, we had 30% doing it, 70% not doing it. Now we have like 50% doing kind of the minimum, and then 50% doing all of them. And you're like, oh geez, but that's amazing. That's why they can come in and just not spend any time reviewing. They can spell, and they're much more responsive and I think ready to communicate. Cool. So, are you gonna try this technique, Brooke?
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely having that the number 0,
right,
with the QR code, especially with the Japanese for the parents.
Sure.
And then that first incentive, I think this will go a long way, because I kind of started the QR code halfway through the year, and everyone's like, "What is this?"
Yeah, and maybe like, what? I don't understand.
Day one. Yeah. I think with the day one, it's really gonna make a difference.
Awesome. And what about the video? Do you think, as a one, teacher school owner and operator, do you think you can create a video sort of in this style? Are you going to invite other like friends or students into the video?
Oh, I suppose I could ask some students if they want to. But even if it's just me, it's definitely doable.
Okay.
Like I can just have the camera on what are they called? The sticky things.
A selfie stick?
That's it. Okay. Yeah, I have a selfie stick if I want to, move the camera around by myself.
Right.
I can just do that. Or if like some of the students like have the students in the class be like, okay, everyone, let's ask this question together. Is it under the desk? And everyone's like, is it under the desk? And everyone, puts their little heads under the desk or something. It's
Ooh.
definitely doable.
Yeah, and we can make anybody could just use my school's video, but I think having that my teachers in the video, it's so personal. And with our QR codes as well, I think we should let everyone know that because Brooke is also using Bingo Bongo, my school's resource company. We want other teachers in those tutorials. So you regularly make, solution videos. So your students, when they scan it, maybe they'll see Jeremy Sensei, maybe they see Chris, and of course they'll see their own teacher. And that's, a whole other topic, but getting a variety of different teachers in, but also having my teachers on the TV is really exciting for the students.
I've seen there's like I think for the first time when I brought it in, I was like, okay, and this is what you do, and this is how you go to it.
Yeah.
And then my face popped up and they were like, what? Why are you on the TV?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, and they were like laughing and having fun.
That's good.
Like, I'm going to watch you at home too. I'm like, okay, you do that.
That is a whole nother topic as well on how to improve your teaching, style or skills, is make videos, because then if you watch it, but then you start to make these videos, you're like, okay, these are okay, and then watch your students watch videos of you and watch their reactions, and then you're just like, okay, now I know what to, push and what to, change.
I know what to do, no, not to do.
Right. Okay, well, I think we'll wrap it up here then. So this is, the topic was how to get all of your students on board with studying at home using QR codes. So it doesn't have to be QR codes, but anything you do implement, make sure it's very simple, the kids know how to do it, and just drill it from lesson 0, and so that way they know what to do for the rest of the year. All right, well, thanks for trying this project with me, Brooke.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much.
All right, it's been fun. All right, thanks, guys. See you.
Bye.